thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Welcome, everyone, for episode 362 of the Massenomics podcast. We are the lifting podcast about Nerfin, and my name is Tanner.
And my name is Tommy.
We're coming back to you. We're back home I'm in western northeast South Dakota. Tommy's in eastern southeast South Dakota. We've returned from mid-Ohio. Finally, we're back after one hell of a journey there and back, and we live to tell the tale.
Back with stories that you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, so this episode, you're going to get a lot of the inside scoop on the Arnold stories. The Arnold Chronicles. This is the Arnold Chronicles episode 5, I think. Our fifth time to the Arnold and back.
Our fifth recap?
Yeah, our fifth Arnold recap over the years.
Yeah, probably. 17, 18, 19, 22, 23, yeah.
Yep. But first, and also relevantly, I want to tell you about the Strength Co. Big Grant and company at the Strength Co. make plates that they're rugged, durable, and smooth and easy to grip. They're E-coated, made in America, and they're the best iron plates on the market. I'll tell you that right now. And I saw them get used by all kinds of strong people, and just all kinds of people got put to the test at the Arnold this year.
Not just used and abused.
Yeah, used and abused, and they no worse for the wear. Actually, Massenomics Jim's own 100-pound plates went there and were used all weekend, brought them back. To be fair, they actually look nicer than when I took them because
they did get rained
really
on.
They were really dusty, and they cleaned them off to be used there. So they actually came back in better shape than when I took them. So check out the Strength Co. What is the web address now? Is it thestrength.co?
That is
correct.
correct.
What it is? Thestrength.co. Check them out and buy all of your Made in America plates right there. More on the Strength Co. coming later this episode.
And also, speaking of relevant sponsors, this episode is also brought to you by Bearfoot Shoes. Most shoes harm your mobility by over-restricting your foot's natural movement. Barefoot shoes are designed with minimal restrictions so your feet can move the way they're supposed to. Move with more strength and confidence in every step. Barefoot Shoes was founded by Chris Duffin, who attributes proper foot biomechanics as foundational to his success in squatting and deadlifting over 1,000 pounds for reps. He helped create the company to provide a minimalist shoe that can be worn for anything from deadlifts to walking your dog. Go to www.barefoot.shoes to check out the best minimalist shoes available. And while you're there, make sure to use code Massenomics to save 10% on your order. One more time, www.barefoot.shoes. Code Massenomics will save you 10% on your next order. Thank you, Barefoot Shoes.
And more from Barefoot and Chris Duffin also to come in this episode.
Stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
They're not just for your hands anymore. Barefoot shoes, they're not just for your hands anymore. They're great. Okay. So, Arnold 2023, Columbus, Ohio. First weekend of March. We went. It was a pretty good time, and we're back. Thanks, everyone, for listening this week. We'll catch you next time.
Cut the condensed version out of the way in case some people thought we were actually still there. I said, woo, glad I got the answer on that. I can quit listening now.
This is one of those recaps that it is hard to even know where to start because there is so much that gets jam-packed into this thing.
We could make this a 5-hour episode easy if we wanted to.
Yeah.
We could do an hour just on all the food we ate, which I guess more on that to come too. But yeah, it's hard when there just is that much that happens in one weekend. Like there's whole chunks of that weekend that any 3 hours of that would be almost an episode on its own. But you just got to take 3 days plus add in a couple travel days and then somehow try and recap it. So
I think the 10,000 foot view is that it was awesome in almost every way, you know, from, we can get into all more of these in detail, but sales wise was great. Meeting people was great. Meeting crew was great. Hanging out with other lifters and that sort of stuff was all a great experience. Just like always. I mean, we kind of know at this point that it's going to be like that. Mm-hmm. And I don't think anything in any of those areas disappointed.
No, those all of those things you just said exceeded our expectations for sure. Because we were a little skeptical of a couple things leading into it. You know, we knew vendor numbers were down from year over year, and it just makes you curious. What's the crowd going to be like? Is that going to be there? But numbers were up from last year, at least from our perception. Yeah,
I mean, I think it's probably. I don't know, maybe definitely isn't the right word, but it definitely felt like to me that there was more people there this year than there was last year in 2022.
I would totally agree. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't, we talked about this, it wasn't 2019 numbers.
No.
But 2019 numbers was insane, was crazy, was huge. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, we maybe didn't know it at the time, but a lot of people kind of even refer to that as like the pinnacle of Arnold over time, that it just got ballooned to this enormous monster of where you literally can't walk down any of the aisles ever.
Yeah, I think most people would even say that 2019 was too much.
Yeah. Yeah. So 2023, not back to 2019, but improved over 2022 and going in the right direction, which makes me feel good, because I had some concern going into it that if we know 2022 was here, and if 2023 stepped back another 10%, then I would have started to say, oh, no, what's going to happen here?
It does look like the writing's on the wall at that point.
Yeah.
You know, this thing is dying. But luckily that wasn't the case.
No, that wasn't it at all. So now I feel really good about the future of it, actually. And also there was been speculation about it moving, and I think heard from a number of people that they've signed contracts now for at least a couple more years going forward, that it will still be in Columbus, so I'm happy about that also.
Yes, that takes another thing off the worrying list for a little while.
Yeah, I think I saw in a few places that like 24 and 20 and other vendors had said that they had heard the same thing, that it was that it's been booked for the next couple of years.
Yeah. Well, they already give us the option to reserve our booth next year, so it's going to be really awkward if they were to change
That's
that.
True.
You know?
That's true.
So should we start with the travel, the beginning?
Yeah, that's a good place to start.
Because you actually had... Okay, I actually have to interrupt Tanner really quick before I forget the story. I did have another person stop me in Sioux Falls and ask me if they knew... Ask me who I was. But this one is a little more unique. You want to know why?
Yeah.
Because they were your relatives.
Were you wearing something Massenomics related?
No, I was not actually.
Okay, so they just recognized you.
Yeah, I was.
I do have quite a few relatives in Sioux Falls. So
it was your aunt and uncle that live. I think you said kind of on this end of town where I am.
Okay, yeah.
I was at
Where
Walmart.
Did they see you at?
I was at Walmart checking out in the self checkout line, and I'm looking down and I hear, "Are you Tommy?" And I look up and I am thinking, "You are not the audience. So what's going on here? What's the deal?"
Yeah.
And they say, "Oh." Tanner's our nephew. We hear all about the podcast and all this and talking. And she goes, I do got to say, it's really odd actually seeing you in person because I'm familiar with your voice. So,
yeah. So I think that was a shout out to Aunt Holly for.
I believe. Yeah, I already forgot her name, but yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah.
Her husband's tall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uncle Scott.
There you go. Holly and Scott.
Yeah. Big Massenomics supporters.
Yeah. Real big fans. Yeah. So, okay. I'm glad I remember that.
That's funny that I'm surprised that they even know well enough to recognize you in public though.
I know. I didn't have any Massenomics stuff on. That's why I was shocked, because they did say they saw me earlier in the store, and I think they said they recognized the hair or something, and they weren't quite sure, but then I was checking out, and so then they got the second look, and that's when it all clicked for them.
The Discord crew is watching her along live tonight out, and they said, list every meal you ate on the way with reviews. You guys are in luck, because as we picked up our YouTube vlogging over this last month or two, that's actually one of the vlogs that's coming.
Yeah, we got a food vlog coming.
But there's a more comprehensive, kind of more like general vlog.
Yeah,
that's also coming up.
just the Arnold recap vlog will be dropping tomorrow on YouTube.
Yeah, so if you're listening to this not live, it's already out there. So make sure to go check that out. It's really cool. It's if you watch that video, you really get a feeling like you were kind of along for the ride, I think.
Yeah, and if you're in the Discord and you stop by the booth at all, there is a good chance you at least are on camera. There's also a pretty good chance that you're even talking to the camera. So there's going to be a lot of cameo appearances in there.
Yeah,
not going to want to miss that thing.
I saw it for today, and it already made me kind of miss the Arnold. Even though I was really happy to be home, it just kind of made me think, oh, that was fun.
There was a lot of times in it that I just started laughing very hard because there was just so much ridiculous stuff going on.
Yes. So about the trip, though, we made the trip, right?
we did make the trip.
Yeah. No news was good news as far as the drive went, right? We started off really early. We're on the road by like 5
Well, there was a little bit of news, though. You had to jumpstart the day a little earlier, the trip earlier than me even.
Yeah, so I left on... So my trip to the Arnold actually started on Tuesday evening, and I was trying to beat a snowstorm going on up here in western northeast South Dakota, and I did beat it. It was actually just starting to snow as I left Tuesday evening after work, and managed to avoid any of the real serious stuff on Friday evening. Got down to Sioux Falls, stayed at one of the two Massenomics recording studios. That's not my house.
Yeah, you got to see it all in person. The second studio.
I got to take a peek behind the curtain.
You did. You got to see it firsthand.
Yeah.
And we got to, I guess, start Massenomics talk a whole day early then at that point, didn't we?
Yeah, we got to start we got to start our week long of Massenomics talk on Tuesday night.
Yeah. We knew 6 days wouldn't be enough. We needed to sneak in one more night. So luckily we got that, and we woke up at about 4 a.m. We had enough time to get a good solid breakfast in. And it's breakfast at 4 is always a little weird,
Yeah, it is. It's even for me. I'm a big breakfast guy, but 4 a.m. breakfast is a little different because
your appetite isn't quite there.
So you threw some eggs on the skillet, didn't you?
Yep, we got some eggs going, and I think that's about all we did, actually. We kept it relatively light. Didn't want to wake up the whole family here.
No, it was appropriate. It was an appropriate amount of, but it was 5 a.m. that we got on the road, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep, we were on the road by 5. Made our first stop in Sioux City. This is all in the travel vlog, so we won't go too far in depth on this, but thinking back, the highlights of the trip, we got bored at one point. Surprisingly, it was probably after talking about Massenomics for like 9 hours. We're like, oh, okay, we're running out of things to say. So then,
if anyone suspects that we just talk about Massenomics, like we get together for this trip and we just talk about Massenomics, you're mostly right.
You're almost. Yeah, that's almost the only thing we still talk about.
Yes.
And we do, I'm not lying, we do talk about Massenomics for almost the entire 15-hour trip. And then when we get there, when we get to the hotel, we just talk about Massenomics more. So
it's our best business meeting every year. Actually, it's like our best.
There are a lot of ideas that come from it because you have nowhere to go. So ideas just flow for. It's just like a stream of consciousness,
Well, the Arnold bathroom memes came from the trip, like that. Those were a big hit this year, on Instagram, but also just like in person. The number of people that came up and said, "Yeah, I'm really enjoying all the Arnold bathroom content."
Yeah, we got a lot of compliments on that. But on the trip, there was a point where we said maybe we should talk to someone else. So we started calling. You open up the Rolodex, Tanner. You started calling people. And that was fun because not everyone, several of them were caught off guard. Like, you guys are calling me right now? What's going on here? And some other people, knew to expect phone calls, or they weren't surprised when they got phone calls from us, but had probably 10 different conversations that were anywhere between 5 and 20 minutes each.
Who were we talking to? Huck Finn, Dan Bell, Grant, Adrian Gluck,
Nick at Live Large.
Eddie, the mole, or not?
I don't know if we talked to Eddie.
Okay.
Called Chad, but he didn't answer.
Yeah, he shot us a message, said he was busy training.
Yeah, probably a few other people, but it was got lots of calls in, so that was fun. I'm trying to think.
And a lot of that shows up in the vlog. That's
It
on
does.
YouTube
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Yep, there's hints of all that in the vlog.
Yeah.
But otherwise, driving there, it was our goal was to get to Dayton on the first day because it's only about an hour away from Columbus, so you can just wake up and go. And we made it to Dayton by what were we there, like 8:00 ish?
Yeah.
And that's with losing.
Right?
We lose an hour because of the time zone thing. So we made pretty damn good time. And I don't think there was really even anything noteworthy about the trip other than just how unremarkable it is driving all across the Midwest.
It was sketchy, icy for a while early in the morning in Iowa, somewhere in there. Also, we ate at the Iowa Wendy's, which turns out to be just like, it was Iowa, but Cedar Rapids.
The Iowa Wendy's.
Their one Wendy's. World's Iowaest Wendy's. No, the Cedar Rapids, one of the Wendy's, wasn't that Cedar Rapids?
I believe
which
so.
happened to be just right next to where Big Brett lives. Like you said, his house was right there. And then I didn't realize Big Ryan, crew member, that's where he lives. And I really like he went to the Wendy's like a day later and like took some sad videos of
filmed a
missing
video
us.
there. Yeah, that was really funny. Yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that a lot.
But that first night in the hotel, wherever the hell we were, in Dayton, like you said, we really did some good Arnold bathroom brainstorming when we were laying around in bed there.
Yep, just laying in bed, sending bathroom ideas back and forth and laughing on our phones the whole time.
That's the best.
So, yeah, we made it all the way to Dayton, got our hotel, got checked in, had maybe one of the worst meals of the entire trip at, what was it, Charlie's or something?
Oh, that was shit.
That might
was
have been the
awful.
worst meal of the entire.
Yeah, that was awful.
I'll give the wait staff credit. They were fine. Nothing wrong with them, but the food just was not
Yeah.
good. And the reason we went there is because it was across the street from the hotel. It was the closest,
Right.
easiest thing. But yeah, that was
trash.
That was not good.
That was the worst.
Yeah. We got up we got to check out the hotel gym. There was a Peloton in it too. That was our first taste of a Peloton.
Turns out it's just a stationary bike.
It's just a bike with some stickers on it and a little iPad, right? That's all it was the whole time.
Yeah.
So we woke up in the morning, drove into Columbus. I think, were we there by like 9-ish?
Yeah, I think we were.
Which, looking back on our history, first booth ever, we probably didn't get there until 3 or 4. It was probably closer to 4 even.
Right.
Last year, I believe we were there 1, 2, somewhere in there.
Something like that. Yeah.
This year, they're at 9, so way ahead of schedule. By the time,
great.
it felt so good, and there was no rush. We were like the only ones around us that were even setting up, so it felt like we were ahead of the game. And by the time noon rolled around, the booth was 95% put together. It was. We could have actually just went home for the day there if we did.
Yeah.
If we didn't,
we could have went home for the
whatever
weekend. Just call it a weekend.
Just put a box out.
So damn good.
Just put a box out. It says 1 T-shirt for 30, 2 for 50. Put your change in the box.
Honor system. It's like the Halloween candy.
Yeah, it's like a pumpkin patch. They're just like, everyone just do the right thing here.
We could have just left cardboard scants there.
Yeah. Well, we do the Home Alone thing where he'd hook him up to something so he moves once in a while so people think he's real.
Rocking around the Christmas tree.
No, we would just make our booth have like a back. There'd be a background, would be backlit, so it just makes it look like someone's behind the booth moving around. They're like, oh yeah, the guy's going to come out any minute. Don't steal anything. That's what we do.
Before I forget, speaking of cardboard scants, Big Eddie brings cardboard scants every year. A lot of people recognize it now, but recognize it as in this, this cardboard cutout that's always around the Massenomics guys and around the Massenomics booth. But there was a dude that came up that didn't really know the joke, but knew who Scants was. And it was
he goes, I know that guy.
I know that guy. And he was actually concerned that we were using his likeness without his permission. And I'm like, no, he's our buddy. He's in on the joke here. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he had to get a picture with Scants, of course.
So was that guy from Canada too? Do you know?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
He has done Highland Games with him before.
Yeah. The chances aren't impossible, but that's still very, very funny that he would see cardboard scants and make
Should
a
we,
connection.
Are you thirsty over there?
Yes, I am thirsty.
And speaking of all the crew we got to meet and everything, we got a lot of cans over the weekend, didn't we?
We did, and this one is, God, we got enough that I just cannot remember who gave them all to us.
Oh gosh,
So-
I'm never gonna remember that.
This was from, and the game is partly ruined here. You'll just get a taste test, but this is from Hop Tree Brewing in Hudson, Ohio, and this is hometown. I don't even know, how do you say that, Tanner?
Yeah,
Hellas. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some accent to it that I'm doing wrong.
hometown hell. Yes.
And it is a.
I think this guy maybe said he used to work at the brewery or something like that.
I thought he did too. Yeah, it's an
But,
easy drinking pale lager, gentle
listen to
bitterness from noble hops, and a smooth malt character from German Pilsner malt. 5%. A true 5%er. Yeah.
This is Huck Finn's mating call. I don't know if you can hear that.
He did that all week. The number, it just started to not even register in my brain. He'd be walking around popping the tab like that.
Just doing his mating call.
Oh, here we go. Yep. It's a smooth finish on that one.
Let's see.
You know, I'd say it tastes about like you would expect
Yeah.
an easy drinking pale lager to taste.
Tastes like a brewski.
Which I think for something like that is exactly where you want to be.
Tastes like a brewski. I'll give it a brewski rating for sure. What do you give that out of 5 stars?
I think I'd probably give that a 3.5 just because it's
Yeah,
exactly what you'd expect, right?
That's a 3.5 all day, I think.
I'd be more surprised if it didn't taste like that.
No surprises with that one. It's good though. A good drinking beer.
Oh yeah.
This beer's good for drinking. It also fits. What I really love about it, fits great in a Massenomics drink spotter.
Not only does it fit great, it looks great in that drink spotter.
In this classic drink spotter.
Do you like what's in my drink spotter right here? Do you see what I got going on in my drink
strength
spotter?
plate
I got a strength coat plate to round out my display a little bit more.
in your classic drink spotter.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. All right, what were we talking about?
After we got the booth, like noon on Thursday, we got mostly set up. And then, of course, as Massenomics tradition and folklore holds, first meal in Ohio is always best meal, and first meal is always at. If you don't know this by now, you haven't been listening long enough. The first meal at Columbus is always at Hubert's Polish Kitchen, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And I look forward to going to Hubert's so much, and now I'm like, the worst part, it's like when you're a little kid and like it's a week after Christmas, your birthday, and you're like, dang, so long until it's Christmas again now. That's what I'm feeling right now about going to Hubert's Polish Kitchen. It's like, oh no, it's so long until we get to go again.
Mm-hmm. And it didn't disappoint. And we got there. We basically ordered one of everything. Some things we ordered 2, 3, and 4 of. And I think we spent almost $70 on all the food, didn't we?
Yeah, it was 60.
Yeah,
okay, I was going through
60,
receipts today,
which
so
is,
it was,
which is a lot of
$30
money to
a piece
spend
on lunch.
when most of the items are
market.
like $5.
Yeah,
You know, some of them are less than $5.
We kind of there wasn't many survivors out of that though. At first, I didn't think we were going to put it all down, but there was very few survivors from that.
No, I think the only thing that was left was I got the cabbage.
Oh, that was the only
stuffed
thing
with
left.
beef and rice, and I just couldn't quite do that one. But we did
The
everything else besides
pierogies.
that. I think
Almost
that's
forgot how good the pierogies
If
are.
I had to say we made a mistake, it's just we didn't order enough of those. That's the thing. Next year, just need like 8 pierogies each.
And part of my favorite part about going there is telling him every year, like, yep, we come back here every year. It's our favorite spot to go, and he's always there working.
He is every
And,
time.
He makes it feel like he remembers you, even though
I know there's no way.
Yeah,
Did you like how he had a Menards hat on too?
I love how he had a Menards hat. I would have told him, but it's kind of busy, and
Right.
the chicken cutlet there is. I love the chicken cutlet. The pierogies are the best thing. I do like that cheesy ball thing too.
The
that
Maloney or whatever the hell it's called.
That and first, I don't think I've ever had it before, but he talked me into the
Potato pancake.
and that was good. I could have had a couple of those.
Yeah, that was really good. I'm trying to think if I got anything you didn't get, but maybe we did get mostly the same items there.
Yeah. The stew.
I like more of the hot stew on mine, so
Yeah,
I
want
like
the
to
regular
smother
stew.
that
Even
a
though
little
Hubert
more.
was really trying to talk me into the hot. He's like, no, you need a little hot. Next year I'll try the hot.
Yeah,
I
it's
learned
really
on
not
the potato
hot.
pancake when Hubert tries to sell you on something, you go with it because
You do
he knows his
He knows
Polish
his stuff.
kitchen like the back
Yep.
of his hand.
He sure
There-
does.
There is yeah, I got the Milone thing. I got
Yep.
the Milone. Yeah. There is like archaeology going on outside of the market there now, like where
Yes.
they're like, I guess, digging up
Well,
dead bodies.
Because didn't someone say that in the Discord was that apparently they'd found a burial ground in the North Market parking lot,
Yeah.
and
it
I
really
didn't
looked like that
know
seemed to be
how
what they were
legit
doing
that
out
was.
there.
It did. There was archaeologists brushing away at the dirt. There was all these tents set up, so that really did seem to be the case. I have not looked into this news story anymore.
It really looked, but it is kind of a mess there with that. Like part of couple of those main streets that come in from that direction, even.
Yeah, I
closed
clicked on the. I typed in North Market Columbus and clicked on the news tab here. Archaeologists unearthed 40 graves at North Market in 2022, and 19th century human remains found.
And when we were, when I explained that to you as we were there, and you're like, I didn't explain that. I explained a really rough version of that, as I oftentimes do. And we went over and like peeked through the fence, and you could see like 4 guys on their hands and knees, like in these cordoned off, like, squared off areas, like down there.
Thinking, what am I in Jurassic Park over here?
Yeah,
They're all
yeah.
excavating this thing out.
Yeah, they're doing some fine digging. Yep. So Hubert's didn't disappoint.
Yep. After we completely stuffed ourselves at Hubert's, went back to the booth. At that point, we
Just
wrapped
finishing
up.
touches.
Yeah, put the finishing touches on, and that's when more people started to filter in. And then at that
more
point,
more the exhibitors,
Yes, and at that point, that's when
our
we can start to have
peers.
fun because we're done.
Yeah.
We can just hang around and bug people and be in their way.
That is
not
the
really
whole,
help at all. Just
No.
watch and bug from a distance. Or
that
very
is the whole
closely.
thing with the vendors, the exhibitors. Everyone, we're buddies with, these 20 other companies. Probably not exaggerating. There's about 20 companies of other owners and people that set up that we're pretty good buddies with over the years. And whoever gets done first, their job is to go around and bother the people that are still trying to get finished.
100%.
It's just this whole chain. And then by the end of the night, almost everyone's done, and they're just standing around bothering the last few people that aren't quite done yet. And that's all you do. You just bother the people that aren't done yet. And when you're still going, it's annoying. Like you want to talk. It's not.
Oh, you
just
do. You
enough-
want to catch
yeah.
up because you haven't seen these people for a year, and you want to
Yeah.
catch up. But you're like,
you also wanna get
I
your
actually
stuff
got
done.
shit I got to do here.
You're like,
and
let
I
me
can't
finish
quite
this so
focus.
then we can join our forces together and then go bother the other people that aren't able to get finished yet.
Mm-hmm.
But like Live Large, they have the advantage of being, it being in their backyard, so they get there the day before even to set up. So they're like,
So you can guarantee we'll
Yeah.
be setting up, and Nick and Kevin and whoever else will always be over there talking to us. And I want to talk to him so bad, but at the same time, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, nope, got to do the booth, got to do the booth, got to do the booth.
yes.
And then they just keep hanging around, and I love it. But that is the stress of until you get the booth done. It's hard to focus on anything else.
Yeah, think about when we were. Maybe it was when we were going to go eat. That's when Huck Finn and his crew were and mechanic and those guys
it's
were
when
just
we were leaving
walking
for
in.
lunch when they were first pulling in.
Yeah. And then Buff Chick Supplements, they were right behind us again, so they were kind of getting set up after us. And Travis at Obsidian right next to us, but they weren't really setting up while we were in there. And then the Strength Co. people walked in after we had eaten. We were just doing our final touches. And it was funny because Grant walked by and, they
He's
got
like,
their
I can't even talk.
right. They got there like 6 hours later than us, and it's they need to get going, and he's getting all his crew over there, and he basically just runs by almost and just like waves like, "Yep, I will talk to you guys later. I am not stopping to talk to you guys right now." And it's
Which I would do the same thing at that
Yes.
point. I'd be
Yes.
scrambling then.
Yeah, but they got all their stuff set up in good time too, and he's got a lot of help there, which is good. And anything else from that night?
Well, the other fun thing about Thursday night is so you make the rounds, and we get back by the strongman area.
Oh,
and all
Thursday
the
night,
strongmen,
that is the best.
all the
Yeah.
strongman competitors start leaving because, I think they must take them to
They check out the stage and the equipment and all that stuff.
and give them the full rundown on what happens, and then they all leave. And it's happened the last 2 years that we've been over there when they're all leaving, and they're just it starts with Trey Mitchell. Oh, Massenomics guys, and
Yeah. If you want to meet any of the strongman people, and if we obviously can arrange it because we're there with the booth and stuff, but if you ever really want to have a personal meet with any of them, the best time to be there is Thursday evening by that place, because they're all there. And it was like Trey and Kevin Ferris were coming out, and we talked to them for quite a while. And then Jerry Pritchett, he was coming, him and Bubba, his kid. We talked to them.
And while we were standing there, what's his name? Mateus.
Mateusz Kielkowski.
Yeah, he walked by, and it is always mind-blowing how absolutely massive he is.
Magnus for Magnuson was there.
Yeah, he walked by too. And also that night we went over to go. Yeah, we saw the Gillinghams. We walked by. We went over to the strongman area just to check it out. Just walk right up. Everyone's
Steve
working on
Slater.
stuff.
Yeah,
and we
Steve
walk up
Slater
there
was
like
getting the wogs ready.
Yeah, we
kinda
just stand there like we're supposed to be there. There's all this stuff going on. And then Mark Henry standing there, and we're like, hey, Mark, how's it going? And he just starts talking to us. And
we had a 5-10 minute conversation with just us and Mark Henry.
Yeah.
And that's one of those situations we talked about it afterwards, where it's like we should have for sure got a picture or maybe talked to him about coming on the podcast, anything like that. But it was also just a really cool moment of just like bullshitting with Mark Henry, where you don't really want to wreck it.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't want to sully this fun. Like he's having fun. Like he probably thinks it's cool. He's not getting harassed by anyone, and nobody's asking for a picture. But then you still kind of do want to take a picture.
Yeah, you do want to document it, but it does. Yeah, it's always a tricky situation there. But he was still really cool, and it was fun to talk to him.
That was fun. That was cool.
So that night, where did we do that night? Did we go out to?
I think that's when we ate with the Strength Co. crew.
Okay.
And Jonathan, was Jonathan there? Or
I don't know. I don't think Jonathan was there yet.
was that where? That's the night when Grant bought all those wings and stuff.
Yeah,
and we
Eddie
went
was
out
with us. Yep.
Yeah, Big Eddie.
Got to meet Connor and Braden too.
Yeah,
for the first time.
Braden from TikTok and Connor from memes.
Exactly. Yes, that's their claim to fame, respectively. There.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went and ate at a burger place, so it was so. But I had a lot of wings too, and we also ate Hubert's about 5 hours earlier, so it was still could have totally gone without eating, but stuffed down as much food as we could. And then I think we went back to the Strength Co. hotel, which was the hotel connected to the convention center, and we had a few beverages there that night too.
Yeah. Braden had some shots of tequila.
He did, yes. Yeah. It's funny thinking about, because I never do that unless there's like 10 people having those.
Right. So then Friday was the big kickoff of the real live thing, and it was no more test runs. It was time for the real McCoy.
It was. We got there. The day started off. It's Friday. You never know. The day started off kind of slow, nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
Then about 11, I think, is when it started picking up.
Yeah, popped off.
And you know what really kicked off the day was there was a 21 beer salute at noon. And
that's
it was in honor of Jack and Homeless.
For Old Homeless, our good buddy Old Homeless. And I think Homeless would have loved the 21 beer salute.
I think he would have been all about it.
We knew Homeless well enough to know he would have loved the
100%. Yeah, he would have been all about it.
I love when Tom Finn tells the story about that Polar with the video where Homeless gets fired because he's driving the truck, and he's always like, yeah, I told Homeless not to even be in the video, but he just got you guys just sent him his new Massenomics singlet, and he's like, nope, I got to get this singlet.
He was so proud of his singlet.
He's so damn proud of it.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, there was a 21 beer salute for Homeless, and then at the end of it, Homeless was supposed to get a drink, but
the mechanic went missing, apparently.
Yeah, Dan Mackey is known as the mechanic, Tom Finn's buddy. He has a tattoo of Homeless on his shoulder, And the plan was after the 21 beer salute for everyone to give Homeless a drink by dumping a beer on Mackie's arm. But Mackie had gone missing. So there's no way to give Homeless a drink.
I think you still got a drink, in the metaphorical sense.
Right. But I wanted to dump a beer on Mackie.
I did too. I was really looking forward to that part of it. The 21 beer salute, luckily though, is all recorded. That is on the Arnold recap video. So if you want to see that in person and the crowd that took part in it, make sure to watch that. And then the day was really going. Then at that point, things were really busy for several hours. It was
a busy Friday.
It is. It's a good feeling when you just feel like you're constantly turning around and grabbing
Just
money,
slanging
grabbing
shirts.
T-shirts, grabbing credit cards, packing up things. Like it makes the day fly by. And yeah, that day wrapped up. And actually Friday, we stayed at the Arnold really late. Everyone was having a really good time that night because then Chris Duffin came around and he was talking to us. Yeah. And Juji Mufu came over by our booth.
Yeah,
and,
it was funny. We were kind of closing up our booth, and all of a sudden there was a guy at the end of it in a hooded sweatshirt with his hood up, and didn't he say something like, "Oh, I'm looking for the Massenomics guys," or something like that?
Yeah, this guy came around the corner and goes, "I'm looking for the Massenomics guys," and we're like, "What?" And it was Juji Mufu. Like that's so cool.
Yeah. That was cool getting to really talk to him for the first time, and like his security guard was there, and his security guard got a real good kick out of us and all of our hair, like the hair.
Oh yeah,
thought
we should be in a Norwegian metal band, and because I think was Lou Nutter with us
Lou
then
was
too.
With us, I think,
yeah, so Lou was with us too. So all of us have this long hair. Eddie was there. Jonathan was there at that point. Yeah, Huck Finn. Juji Mufu, Chris Duffin was around for a little bit too. Just all these people showing up. And it just felt like the longer we stood there, the more things started happening. I think Big Keith was there at that time too, wasn't he?
I think so, probably.
Yeah, there was just a lot of people. Yeah, he's giving thumbs up there. There was a lot of people that were around.
Was Big Mini still there? Though,
yeah.
too?
Oh, yes. Okay. And of course, Big Small Mini is always there as well.
Yeah.
So there was just so many people, and then Obsidian too. Basically the entire crowd was gone, and all of the people we knew were there, and that was a really fun night at that point, especially because everyone had been drinking for a while. So it was getting pretty loose in there,
I think, so let's see, Friday night then. Thursday I didn't have really any beers. I guess when we went out, maybe I had a few, or maybe, I can't remember. Friday night I definitely was having beers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Thursday night we had some at dinner, and then, we had a couple drinks at the hotel, or at that hotel bar, but.
Yeah. By the end of Friday convention, I had almost completely lost my voice, though, so I almost didn't have a voice the entire trip.
I know.
Just from talking.
It got you in day one. And last year, I was kind of worried about this because last year I remember that's the closest I've ever been in my life to losing my voice while I wasn't sick. It's such a rare thing to just lose your voice from talking too much.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit worried about this year, but other than getting a little hoarse in the voice, nothing hit me quite as bad as it hit you.
I basically couldn't talk. Like Saturday night when we went out at the bar, I'm like, I just stopped trying to say things because I would say things and people would just look at me and I'm like, yeah, you don't know what I said. And like I was trying to yell. I don't know if it was at Matt Vincent or who was somebody that was like across the way. Could have been on Saturday. And I literally couldn't say anything loud enough to get their attention.
Project at all.
Yeah. I'm just like, I give up.
Also, Shane Hunt was there quite a bit. We got to talk to him, which was a lot of fun too.
Yeah, I did. I talked to Shane quite a bit, and I would say that the Shane Hunt, what would you call that? What was going on? I'd say we've pretty much mended those bridges pretty well from him ghosting us on the podcast prior. That's pretty much all been put to bed.
Yep, you guys put it to bed, all right.
Yeah, he was actually a very good sport.
Yeah,
and also he the very first thing he did when I said, "Hey, I'm Tanner from Massenomics," he goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And we talked. He was actually very funny. He if he could stay awake long enough, he would be a really good podcast guest.
Maybe someday if we're lucky, right?
Yeah.
Should we do an ad break here? Actually, here let's finish out. Let's finish out. So that was Friday. What did we do Friday night?
Friday night,
we went to dinner with Big Eddie and Lou. We went to Raising Cane's.
Yeah.
And neither you nor I had Raising Cane's before, and we were both very impressed. But maybe I think the more noteworthy thing from that visit was the customer service that one guy was offering up.
10 out of 10. I even told him I would never normally say something, and I'm like, I had to mention how just like awesome his customer service was. And this is after I had like dumped a drink out on the counter and stuff too.
Yeah. You spilled a drink.
Spilled Eddie's lemonade Eddie sabotaged me and set his lemonade right in front of my hand or something like that.
Yeah. And he was filling ice. He goes, "Is that the right amount of ice for you?" You're like, yeah, sure. And
it's like, I don't know. I've never been asked that before.
Yeah. No one's ever thought to ask me that. And then didn't you ask him? You go, "Wow, does everyone offer this level of customer service?" And he goes, "I'd sure like to think so."
And I was thinking, no, they don't. I know you'd like to think so because you're super nice, but let me tell you the answer, no.
I did also, I don't know if you noticed, but while we were eating, the booths, that we were facing towards, he wiped them all down, cleaned them all, and then after he was done, he put everything back, and then went and grabbed sanitary wipes and then sanitized all the booths too.
Really?
I have a hard time believing the average worker in there is going through that.
Pay
effort.
that guy more.
I know, and I was telling this to my wife, and she goes, "Well, geez, did you guys at least write a note to management so they knew about this guy?" And I'm like, "We did."
No, we'll talk about it on our podcast.
We'll just give him a shout out on the podcast.
Yeah. You can't really, like, there's nothing much better than that.
No.
So after we went to Raising Cane's, did we go anywhere? We went to
that's when we met up with the whole Huck Finn crew, Dan Bell, Jonathan.
Oh, yeah.
And all of them at that one bar.
At a bar. And there was like 400 empty Coors Light bottles on the table.
There was no lie, 100 plus empty Coors Light bottles sitting on the table.
Yeah,
don't know why the wait staff thought they didn't need to remove those, but there was a lot sitting there.
I sat next to Dan and was kind of giving him shit, just kind of trying to literally poke the bear a little bit. And Dan is a fun dude and also a really good sport at joking around. Like the biggest powerlifting total all time and stuff, but still not afraid to have a good laugh over really dumb jokes. So that was fun.
Yep. So we did that, and then I think we headed her home after that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
So are we going to go to commercial break? Maybe before commercial break, we should do a little supporting our supporting members.
Good call.
So Big Matt, you might know him because he mostly squats. Big Matt did his first strongman competition, and he got second place in the novice division. He won the deadlift and yoke event both.
Nice.
So well done, Big Matt. Big Zach did a mock meet, and he had a 1270 total. Is Big Zach, I might be getting lines crossed on this, but is Big Zach the one that tried to come to the Arnold and had all the...
That was going to be my guess. When you said Big Zach, that's who I had pictured in my brain.
Is that the right Big Zach? But anyways, do you remember his travelogue?
Something along the lines of the plane was trying to fly into Columbus, but the winds were too strong, so they flew around and then ended up landing in Indianapolis. When he got to Indianapolis, there was apparently no rental cars available, so there was no way he was going to get to the Arnold, so he just ended up flying right back home, which would be awful.
That's awful.
That would be terrible.
That sucks, but I guess we'll see you next year. That sucks, though. What a bummer.
Yeah. Can you imagine if that happened to us? There's like no way. We'd have to get to Indianapolis and buy a car and then just sell it 3 days later.
Right. Be like, do you have a $3,000 car?
We're going to flip this thing at a loss in 2 days.
And then also shout out supporting member. For anyone that doesn't know the supporting our supporting members segment, what it is, we have these supporting members of the Massenomics podcast, and we like to give that back to them each week. One of the ways that we do that is through the supporting member segment, where we just highlight some of the cool, different stuff that they're doing, whether it's competing or could be anything that we find noteworthy. Other advantages that supporting members get are a discount code. They get access to our Discord community, which is a community full of very like-minded individuals. As a matter of fact, over this weekend, we talked about Discord a lot with other companies. And
actually, this is almost
Yeah.
I was gonna say this is actually a shout out, supporting all of our supporting members.
Yeah.
Because
so this is a really important point out. Yeah.
there was multiple business owners
reputable big companies in this space that you would say, holy shit.
that I'm like, why do you even know anything about us? And they said, we've heard from people that you guys have the best Discord that exists out there. Like, and that's not a lie. Multiple business owners said that totally unprompted. Like that was what some people led with it was one of the first things we said to them.
They were quizzing us about how our Discord works, like what we do in our Discord. And there was like influencers involved in there that have like many hundreds of thousands of followers that wanted to know like
this ranged from business owners that are more behind the scenes but owners of very large companies to influencers that also have large companies but
like
have hundreds of thousands if not a million followers
Yeah.
asking us about this.
Yes.
And everyone just said, oh man, your Discord has a real reputation, which is crazy. I don't know how that's getting out, but it's really awesome that it is.
Yes. And yeah, I mean, there was just a lot of fun conversation about the Discord. That kind of caught me off guard. I wasn't necessarily expecting that.
Well, because I kept wanting to be like, where are you hearing this from? But no one really had a real answer for us other than like they're just hearing it around.
It's just the water cooler talk.
The talk of the town, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, that was shocking. It like once was kind of like, okay, maybe this person knows so and so better, but from the fact that it came from companies that are in vastly different areas of the industry,
right,
means that it's a real deal.
So that's all, of course, because of you guys. Although that's not what we told them. We told them it's just because of Tommy and I, like everything we do. That's why it's so successful.
Right. Yeah. We actually each have like 20 profiles we run in the Discord. We just talk to ourselves all day long.
make up these jokes back and forth with each other. You're one of the Davids and I'm one of the Matts.
I'm all of the Davids.
We're like, wouldn't it be funny if we joined with like 4 Davids and we started saying like one of the Davids and we were all of the Davids?
Mm-hmm. It's just all us the whole time.
So also shout out to Big Chris D, and Big Eddie. We talked specifically about how to pronounce Big Chris's last name, and Chris tells me, or Eddie tells me that the G is silent in Chris's name. And I don't know if I believe that.
Okay,
that'd be the weirdest silent
because
G.
that was where we were confused the first time, because you'd think it's Daminger. I don't even actually know now.
But how do you even pronounce that as a silent G?
Daminger.
That you're like, I still hear a G.
Well, but you're doing the Ming, like not the J. You're not making the hard G sound.
So not silent.
Yeah,
because a silent G would be Daminer.
Yeah. Okay. True. Like a true silent G. Yeah.
Like everyone's typing it out and they're putting the G in there. That's not, if it's a silent G, it would be Daminer.
Yeah. I just think you don't say the J sound that the G makes.
Yeah.
That was my guess.
Yeah. Okay.
But we've talked about this so many times now that sometimes just even throughout the day, I think, how do you say that one guy's name? Just a mystery that we'll never know.
I've seen a lot of variations, though. I'm seeing Daminger, Dylan Dam, Daminger, Dingalinger.
Yes, someone from the Discord. It's one of those.
So, anyways, Big Chris, what he did was he was not at the Arnold, but he took it upon himself to like DoorDash us.
To be there in spirit. He wanted to be there.
Not only did he just DoorDash us food, he went way above and beyond, and he created this fake bag and these fake entrees to make it all look like it came from Red Robin. Like that actually Red Robin was a real thing that had, And I'm like, man, this runs deep, that they've got Chris this deep on like making up this fake, make it look like a real Red Robin logo and make it look like they really serve burgers and fries.
Yeah, all that to go grab a burger from the concession stand inside the Arnold.
Yeah. Yeah. So we had some fake Red Robin.
So apparently
because
we ate
all
Red
Robin is fake.
Yeah. The burger, whatever that burger came from that we ate, the burger was pretty good. Fries.
Burger was good. Yeah.
Had been sitting a little while. That was our bad more. So I can't give an honest evaluation.
Their fries are almost wedges.
Yeah, they are. It's a thicker fry.
And as long as we're supporting members, also just big shout out in particular to all of the supporting members that came to the booth. Of course, helped out Big Eddie, Big Minnie, both 2 years running, kind of our chief crew as far as running the booth, and Big Minnie's wife, for that matter. Big Kevin helped out at the booth a lot this year. And then I would just hate to try and name everyone, but Big Nate was around a lot. Big Joey,
Kevin,
Big Kevin, the big Daniel was around a lot and helped out a little bit. Big Lou, of course, and then the Minnesota crew, the spotting and loading crew from Minnesota, a bunch of them supporting members. And this just in breaking news, it does sound like they're rounding the troops up together. They likely will be the spotters and loaders for the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic.
Would be awesome.
Which is sweet. If you haven't done many meets before, you might not appreciate the value of this, but these guys are like a professional pit crew of spotters and loaders. And I don't say that as an
They go from Minnesota to Columbus to do spotting and loading. You don't do that on accident.
Yeah. So it'd be pretty sweet if we get
if those guys were involved in the spotting or loading at all, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
So because it just means the meet's going to go that much faster. First they're going to do the world's best job, but then also the meet's going to go that much faster. So that means even more time for extracurriculars at night.
And they were talking about coming anyways, it sounds like. So might as well, if you're great at something, you might as well do it when you can show it off, I suppose.
Plus they're all fun too.
Yeah. Yes. Wow. So shout out just all the other supporting, and I think it was it Big Kevin was his name? He basically became a supporting member on the spot. He had been listening. And, I think we got 3 new supporting members of all people that kind of came to the booth.
Yeah, there was some people really putting the peer pressure on, and we had some guys signing up that day.
Big Nate was really hard selling the supporting membership to some people under there,
which is good.
So yeah, shout out, and I know I missed a lot there. Is there any other ones that come to your mind right away? There's a lot of supporting members that I just don't even remember.
Yeah,
exactly.
It does just get so hard because it's so overwhelming with the number of people you meet.
But way more that came to the booth and specifically pointed that out this year than last year, right?
Oh, it was only a couple last year.
Yeah. So very, very cool. And just meeting all those people is so cool. For me, I could say for sure, meeting them in person is such a fun, cool thing. And Big Nate, I think, even asked me once, it's got to be kind of surreal. You guys started this thing of whatever it was at the time, and now there's this group of people where you do this convention in Columbus, Ohio, and 10s, 20, 50 of them show out to all big time support you, and you meet them in person, and we're all buddies. And yeah, it's pretty wild. It's really fun. My response is just, it's crazy to believe just how fun it can be when something like that comes together. It's just a lot of fun.
I 100% agree. It's hard to put into words because it doesn't seem real that people would be interested in this, sign up to be members to support this, and then also in person care enough to show up and talk to us and hang out and do all those things. So yeah, it's things like that do make the weekend just crazy.
Yes. So thank you, supporting members.
They did post a photo in the Discord here of everyone at the booth, and I'm actually that gets used on the thumbnail for the Arnold vlog. So if you were there, you'll be on the thumbnail too. But I did not realize it until after I was putting the thumbnail together that Keith is not actually there. Yeah. With just a little color correction, you wouldn't know that that's fake. Whoever did that did a decent job of putting him in there. I don't know who did.
I think someone pointed out that they thought I was photoshopped in there too, but I'm pretty sure I was really there for that.
You were.
I remember vividly squatting down like that and thinking,
and actually down. Scans you would think if you didn't look too hard.
Yeah,
that Scans was actually there too. And
he really is kind of there.
Yeah, it's not just a cardboard cutout. Yeah. All right. Should we read this ad that we've been talking about for the last 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Today's show is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. Buddy Caps first started lifting weights in the late 60s and began powerlifting in the mid-70s. At the time, he was working for Image Barbell building gym equipment. Around 1976, a local machine shop started making Olympic bars for them, calling it the Image Bar. In 1977, Image Barbell became Champion Barbell. It was then that Buddy started looking at the bars with an intent of changing them for the better. In 1979, Buddy bought his first lathe to begin addressing the known issues. In 1980, his passion, drive, and purpose now had a greater mission. Buddy set out on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he'd ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling and was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, world, and Massenomics powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and buy one of their legendary bars, visit texaspowerbars.com.
Amen. Texas Power Bars. Come with me if you want to lift. I need your strengths, your weaknesses, and your individual differences for Juggernaut AI. Check out Juggernaut AI at juggernautai.app. Get signed up on your web browser. You can use discount code Massenomics. Discount code Massenomics at Juggernaut AI saves you 10% for the lifetime of your membership. If you get signed up, you can enjoy all the great gains and progress that people like Tommy have been getting on Juggernaut AI. We've been both using it for many months now. A whole bunch of our supporting members use Juggernaut AI. A whole bunch of Massenomics gym members use Juggernaut AI. Let's see. One of my favorite features of it are the tracking and the customization of it, of how you can maybe if you're having injuries or equipment limitations, you can still make it usable for what you're able to do at that point in time, and then also how you can just monitor that progress over time. Tommy, are you still using Juggernaut AI?
I still am. Still am. Grant told me I'm looking bigger this year, so I don't know.
I heard that from quite a few people.
I don't know what more of a testimony you could ask for than right there.
I think there was some talk of that in the Discord that you were looking large and in charge.
Probably 15 pounds heavier than I was last year because, you got to be big to get big. So
that's right. What you don't want to do, though, is get too big all at once.
No, you got to save a little bit.
Yeah, you got to save some for the 2024 Arnold.
That's what I am. I should come in at a very trim 250 at the rate I'm going here.
Yes.
We'll just gain 35 pounds between now and then.
So check out juggernautai.app, get signed up on the web browser, and use discount code Massenomics. Back to more Arnold talk.
I was just running through the list of some supporting members we forgot to mention that we saw in person. Big Gluck, saw him in person.
Oh, yeah. Big Kurt Locker,
saw him in person. Big Andrew, saw him in person.
Which Big Andrew?
South Dakota Andrew.
Oh, yeah. Big Andrew Montoya. Yeah.
Yep. Saw him in person. Big Dan with the arm tattoos.
Oh, big strong man Dan with all the tats. His tats looked as good as ever this year. Good point.
Big Emmett, saw him in person too.
Big Emmett, yeah, good call. Good call. Is somebody sending you these?
No, I'm looking through the Discord member list and just trying to click.
I was like, how are you remembering? Big Dan Bell was there?
Yeah, wasn't there a Big Jake, but was it a Jake supporting member or not? Because I remember you saying not Big Jake from State Farm, right?
Yeah, maybe he was a supporting member.
Okay.
I think Big Kevin Diamond got signed up there. I think that's who that was. Maybe there was someone. I was also doing customer service there. There was someone that had a broken mug. Oh wait, no, I'd actually already sent him that. He was just thankful for our customer service.
There you go.
Yeah, so we got called out on excellent customer service.
Oh, Malachi.
Oh yeah, Big Malachi Ankrum. Yeah, he's there every year. Big Malachi. Yeah, he must have just been there on Friday. I never saw him again. I don't think. See, some of the ones from Friday I kind of forget.
Yes,
Big Malachi is a good dude.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm looking at the list. I'm getting
Big Troy. I don't know if Big Troy is actually technically a supporting member, but we do see him every single year at the Arnold.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
It's
like from the very first year.
Yeah.
Big Dave, of course.
Oh yeah, Big Dave, big North Dakota Dave. He competed at the XBC and did quite well.
Big Travis from West Virginia.
Oh yeah, Big Travis and his wife. We kind of see him every year too, don't? They always watch the Strongman. Big Travis, another good dude. Man, it's crazy how good of people all the supporting members are.
Oh God, I know. They're all awesome. I definitely miss some people because I'm trying to go through the list as fast as I can. Well, Big Connor, of course. We've already talked to him. Big D.
Yeah.
Big Grant. Boy, does this list ever end? Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
That's probably about everyone.
Okay, we probably missed. There's still probably a handful of you listening that said, "Oh, those pricks forgot about me."
Yeah,
but
I just got to the part where people don't have
enjoyed.
big in their name. That's why I'm.
Yeah.
Which is still a pretty good sized list, but.
So then on Saturday's always kind of the biggest day of the Arnold, and it's always our biggest day for sales, and things were flying off the old Massenomics shelves, which we love to see. And we started to actually run low on some inventory. But that's okay because we want to come back with less stuff than we took.
Wait, didn't we already do Saturday?
I don't think so because Saturday night's when we went out with like Duffin and stuff like that. And we didn't talk about that.
You're right. Yep, sorry. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself here.
Yeah, so Saturday at the Arnold, Friday I guess was when Dan and Thor did their deadlift off versus each other. They both pulled 870. Dan's looked considerably faster, and everyone said that Thor's grip was starting to slip on 870. Insider trading info on that is that Dan would have gone heavier, but Thor did not want to go heavier because I don't think it would have been a good idea for him to go heavier on that. And Jonathan and Big Brett, Big Red, were the spotters and loaders, and Jonathan was wearing a Speedo for that inside the road booth.
Because of course.
Yeah. Because why wouldn't he be? And then Saturday was the big strength code deadlift event when Gino did come and announce that, which was super cool. A whole bunch of people, just like I knew, like, you know, they maybe had like 5 people lined up, and then all these other strong dudes show up to get in on it just because if you're that big and strong. Yeah, why wouldn't you? You're getting all this attention and it's a blast. Why wouldn't you get in on that? I think a bunch of them pulled over 800 for mini reps, and Shane Hunt pulled like 900 for 4 or 5.
I know how.
And that was sumo, and that was after like earlier in the day he pulled like 815 for 6 conventional.
Mm-hmm. He's one of the few people, we talk about this, it doesn't happen often, but he is one of the few people that in person go, wow, you're actually even way bigger than I thought.
He's big.
He is. And
he's real big.
He's big. He's tall too. I assumed he was
he's tall.
Maybe like 5, 8, or 9 because he looks so big, but no, he's probably 6'1".
Yeah. So the strength co event was cool. I mean, there was an enormous crowd there. There's basically like way more people that could even physically see what was going on there, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Then so Saturday night we went out with the we had an interesting trip out to go eat with Duffin and the Barefoot group. And first there was a furry party going on at the
Arnold statue. And it
like
was
all of a sudden like 50 furries popped up.
Oh, there was probably 50 furries and then another 50 followers with them. And you just hear, furries to the statue. And they all go up.
Furries assemble.
Yeah. And they all go up to the statue and take their picture, which was, I mean, that's always a sight to behold. So that's how the night started. And then shortly after that, we're rolling with the Barefoot crew, and they go, "Oh yeah, come up to our van." They'd kind of joked about how, we'll have to throw you in the back, but it's okay, whatever. And then we get there, so it's the Barefoot crew and Chris Duffin, because if you've listened to the Massenomics ad, you know that Chris Duffin co-founded the company with them. And we get there, and it's a U-Haul moving van, and Chris Duffin and one of the Barefoot owners were in the front, and all of the rest of us were in the back. No seats
like
or
behind
anything.
The cage.
Yeah, there was a cage.
And there was a lot of joking about Chris taking us into a dark alley and doing God knows what.
Doing his mad scientist things to us.
Yeah. Be like, this is why they really call me the mad scientist.
Yeah. So we eventually got safely to a restaurant where we got to talk about all types of things, Barefoot Shoes and Massenomics.
Yeah, and shout out to
design.
Big Joey just mentioned Big Shelby. She's she's really the Massenomics fan out of it. She knows her Massenomics history quite well.
Yes, she does.
Also, great maybe we could call her up for a special agronomy update at some point in time.
She would know, yeah. So we got to talk about all types of things: Barefoot, Massenomics, design, marketing, all that. That was a lot of fun. Even talked about the meet a little more too, because they want to come down for the meet and check it out.
Talked about some big things.
Oh yeah,
that we can't really talk about yet.
Real big top secret things, but you gotta kind of be in the know to do it. And
we can't. Wish we could say more right now.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. And we recorded, I think, every meal we ate on the trip, especially when we were in Columbus, except this one, which was hilarious to me because Chris Duffin was sitting there with us and we didn't record that part of it.
Yeah.
But whatever. I guess you can't get them all. So then they all said they were going to go back and go to bed. And that was when we made our move to Brothers, because we knew that's kind of that's where the who's who of the Arnold Expo go on Saturday night, is Brothers.
That's where just everyone goes, apparently.
Yeah, not even the who's who. This is where everyone goes to.
Yeah.
And
who do we go there? Who's there then? Big Nate and Big Kevin.
We're holding down a little spot there right away for us. And then shortly after, Big
Eddie.
Daniel showed up, Big Eddie, Big Lou, the whole
Big Dan Bell was there, Shane Hunt.
Basically all the Live Large crew was there.
Yeah. Then Big Meg Squats.
That was kind of on the way out, but even before that, wasn't there? And some of the strongman guys were there too,
Big
weren't
Kevin
they?
Ferris was in there.
Yeah.
Big Angelo. We talked
to Angelo too. We got to talk to Angelo in there.
Yeah.
And then we just ran into so many people that stopped by the booth too during the day that we might not have known that well. They came over and talked to us some more. So it really did feel like we were just at the bar in Aberdeen. Actually, even when I go to the bar in Aberdeen, that many people don't talk to me. And this is a very large bar too, because it was. So there's all the Arnold people there. Then there's all of the whole, I'm assuming, college, Ohio State crew, fans, students there. And then there was their MLS soccer team had just gotten done with the game. So then all the soccer people start coming in. So it was a happening place. It was really fun.
It was.
And
it was cool beans, right?
Yeah, it was very cool beans. And then on our way out,
we didn't stay till closing.
No, we didn't.
And that was a hurting unit.
Lou started buying shots of tequila, and I took one, and that was kind of shortly after that. You're like, we should probably go now. And it is really good. You stopped me when you did, because it's like I had 1 foot off the edge of the cliff and the other one was just ready to go. And you kind of pulled me back. You pulled me off the edge.
I'm 6 feet from the earth.
I was feeling like Scott Stapp up in there. I was ready to just go nuts. But you brought me back to reality, which the next morning was so the right move, because I was rough the next morning. I was Sunday. I'm like, At that time, I was ready to be up till 3 a.m. I'm just like, yep, we're doing this.
Well, and we basically were one step away from 3 a.m. Mm-hmm. Like that. That analogy is very accurate. That it was just that close to it.
Yeah, and so we started walking out, and then we saw the Buff Chick crew and Meg Squats and Ryan. And they said, we got to get our picture. We never get a picture, because that's just every year we talk to them, and every year we say the same thing. Wow, we didn't get a picture with them again. And so we got a picture with them at the bar that night.
Yeah.
But then, we bailed out of there, got home, fell asleep, and woke up the next day. And I was so glad that we did not have a single more drink or stay up a minute later, because
I don't know if it was this night or not, but if you watch it on video, you can see this. But Tommy fell asleep like this one night in his bed, where I looked over. Actually, like almost every night, you fell asleep like mid
because you can't
sentence.
Look. Well, I know. I did. Yes, because I think the very first night I told you, I think I was talking to you and I just fell asleep, and you're like, yeah. You pretty much mid conversation just quit talking to me, and I realized you were sleeping then.
Yeah. I cannot fall asleep as quickly as you do. You can fall asleep like on the drop of a dime.
When I'm tired, that's
like a superpower.
That's when I'm really tired. Yes, I can fall asleep so fast. Like within, I can like knowingly go from consciousness to not being there in probably less than 10 seconds. It's
mere mortals would kill to have the ability to fall asleep that fast. Where you're just like, no, I'm sleeping now.
Yeah, I couldn't even really tell you. I remember falling asleep any nights on this trip, because we'd get there, the second I'd lay down, just we were talking or it was like basketball on TV, and then boom, just all right. I wake up.
I'm not
and it's the
used to
morning.
going like 14 hours straight without checking anything.
Well,
on
and
my
that was
phone.
so you can't look at your phone all day because it doesn't work in the Arnold. And then when
busy.
when you're not in the Arnold, you're doing something. So you get back to the room and you're trying to catch up on Instagram, Discord, look at some emails because I do still have a life going on outside of Massenomics stuff. And so then you just pass out with your phone in your hand every single night. And then Sunday, woke up Sunday. This was
Woke up on Sunday feeling like P. Diddy.
Brushed my teeth with a bottle of Jack.
That would have made me puke.
That probably the saddest thing of the entire trip. We really thought we were going to get Waffle House in. There was one almost across the street from our hotel, but the way scheduling worked out, that was really the only thing on our to-do list that we did not manage
That was
to
my
accomplish.
second biggest regret outside of not getting to get homeless a drink.
Right. Well, yeah, that goes without saying that homeless, we wanted homeless to get a drink. He did not get his drink. But besides that, Waffle House would take second place for the next most upsetting thing that happened all weekend.
But it was just a very full weekend, you know. There's just not even enough extra space for Waffle House, was there?
No, there was not. No, we didn't have a single second to spare at any point in the weekend. We had it so packed.
And we're always hotel buddies with Brian
Carroll.
Yeah, Brian Carroll.
Yeah.
Brian Carroll and us always stay at the same hotel, which is fun because now Brian always stops by the booth and we always BS with him at breakfast, and him and his crew of scary looking guys. They're not scary, but they just
They're all very large.
rough, big, old school power lifters. But it is funny every year. It's like talking to Brian Carroll at the hotel.
Yep. Yeah, and we ran into him at the Arnold once too, didn't we?
Yeah, he stopped by the booth
Yeah.
before, and it was funny the first night there. We're like, "Yeah, you suppose Brian's here this year?" And then, here.
And we
sure
did
enough,
say,
he
well,
was.
if he is, I'm sure we'll run into him. And yeah, we did. Sunday is always way more low key. Everyone's just trying to survive at that point. The crowd's much smaller, but it was still a fun Sunday. It was good. I'm trying to think of anything actually during the day stuck out as being noteworthy, but
that's when all the strongmen come by.
Yeah.
That's when Trey stopped by for a little bit. What's the guy from
Pavlo or
is he from Ukraine or where? He's from Ukraine. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
He came with because Bobby Thompson came by the booth, and Bobby set up for like an hour and a half and signed autographs and stuff like that. And to me, it was really cool because it's kind of the first time we've had someone like that where they're at the Massenomics booth, and there was like a line for him there of people that wanted to meet him and get their picture with him and have him sign belts and stuff like that. And Pavlo came with him, and Pavlo is
so crazy.
Yeah, Pavlo is huge, like just the craziest build. I don't know. It's just wild. Like shaking his hand too. I'm like, what is that thing at the end of your arm?
He is so. All of the strongmen are large.
Yes.
And they all do have a frame that's built different than anyone you'll meet. But
like
even
Bobby
within
and
their
Trey are
ranks,
both huge. But
even within their ranks, there are guys that are even built even more different.
Yes.
And Pavlo is up there at the top of the list with guys right now that just does not make sense with the way he's put together.
No, and I think mentioned this. We forgot to mention this. Big Z came by the booth.
Yes.
Big Z came by and got him. My other one regret is we were out of the strongman tee and
of course
4X and 3X because he wanted that, and I'm like, damn it, we can't give that to Big Z, so he took a lift tee instead. I think.
Yeah, which nothing wrong with that.
No.
Yeah, see, it's just he doesn't even look real when you see him either because you get so used to seeing him in photos and videos for all the years that when you finally meet him in person, you're like, that is
even
really
like
you,
smaller Big Z, you can just tell you're like, oh, that okay, you look like that. That's why.
And this is you when you're probably 50 to 80 pounds off your peak. I'm assuming.
Yes. Is that about it for Sunday then too? We shut it down, right?
Yeah, got to meet
we always pack up like wild men on
we do,
Sunday
and the crew helps out big time. Even some
that's
people
where
around
the crew
us
really comes in clutch, if you ask me. Like the packing up because we need to
Yeah.
get a lot done in a short amount of time. That's when all hands on deck crew is really helpful.
Even the other booths were helping a little bit with some of our stuff. Obsidian was helping out, and Sunday's also fun because everyone with all the booths is like giving each other care packages. Like, hey, here's a gift for you. Here's a gift for you, and everyone's just giving each other a bunch of free stuff, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I always get equipment. We always get equipment for the gym.
So we got excited because we sold so much stuff that we're going home with significantly less boxes. But then Tanner gets all these
loads
equipment.
up with thousands of pounds of equipment.
Yeah, so we probably actually came back with more weight.
I'm
For
pretty
sure,
sure
we
the
came
trailer
back with
was
the trailer
heavier.
weighing heavier than we went, but there was several more boxes in there than when we started too.
And for more on that, we are I think going to have a little YouTube video where it's like the equipment haul of everything that came back from the Arnold. You know, some Strength Co stuff, bells of steel, a lot of good stuff in there. Had 3 new barbells, all kinds of cool stuff. And like 20 bottles of ammonia from Obsidian.
yeah. 20 bottles of ammonia, a bunch more apparel.
So then we immediately get on we pull out of there, and it's always the best feeling, like getting out of there and just getting onto the highway too. Like, oh yeah, we're out of there.
Yep.
We made
And
it.
to also have the weather not be pouring rain or snowing or something, just smooth sailing out of there is nice.
Yeah, like we drove till midnight, and driving I've never had driving at night feel quite so comfortable, and as that was, where I'm like, oh man, it feels like we could just drive forever.
It did. And you
Which
kind
we
of
did
wanted
drive
to
for a
keep
long
going.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got out of there. I think we were out of there by 6:00, weren't we?
Yes, I think maybe even on the road by like 5:30.
Yeah. And we drove until midnight. Like we didn't even, we didn't
stop.
We didn't stop and get actual dinner. We just grabbed something at the gas station and kept going. And, there was basically no breaks. We just drove and drove. And where did we stop? Was it like, it was south of Cedar Rapids or
We weren't
south
quite
of
into
Waterloo?
Iowa yet, were we?
We were just about to Iowa, yeah. So we stopped just short of the Iowa border, which made the next day nice because it's funny when you show up at a hotel. Well, okay, two things. So we go to the hotel, and when we're doing it like this and we don't know where we're going to end up, usually we'll just drive to whatever we think is the nice hotel. Typically, there's several in the area, so if one doesn't have a room, it's no big deal. But you drive to whatever's the nice hotel, and we just say, hey, can we get a room? Like, we're not going to go through all the things online of booking and all that when you just walk in and do it right there. And when we're showing up at close to midnight, you don't have to wait for anyone. It's ready to go. So we show up. The guy is doing God knows whatever he's doing.
And I'll tell you this, you meet the strangest people when you check into hotels on the road at like in
midnight,
late night. Yeah.
But then also you think about, well, who would work at those jobs? And it makes sense. So the guy's nice. Yep. He was nice and friendly and everything. Asked for the room. Okay. Yeah. And he goes, okay, I can do a king size bed for you for $127. Like, do you have 2 queens? Let me check.
Yeah.
The
fact that he
it was like $10 more. So it's just the fact that he assumed we needed one bed together.
Well, neither of us, you told him like, do you have any queens? And neither of us had said anything, and we're walking back out once we get it arranged, and like both of us immediately like, why would you assume we want one king bed?
Even if you didn't know, you'd think someone would say, I can get if you don't want to offend someone by assuming they want separate beds, but you would still think the options would be, okay, I have a king for this and a queen for the. You give them the option, don't you? Rather
He just
than be like,
only was going to tell us about the one king bed.
Yeah, because I thought for sure when he led with that, he was going to say that was all that was left. But no, there was totally queen size beds, and the room was a few more dollars.
And for $10, I'll take the separate beds.
And I mean, there was 4 other hotels right there. So even if that's all that was there, we wouldn't have had to stay there. But yeah, that's what he wanted to lead with. And then he gave us
only that, he went into the
very long sales pitch on the breakfast, which if you stayed at a Holiday Inn Express, it's the same breakfast at every Holiday Inn Express. But this guy went into great detail.
He just kept going down the list, and he was doing like slow talking, like reading off reciting a list from memory, like basically what we're doing, talking about the crew members that were all at the Arnold. He's like, yeah, there's, I think it's sausage and gravy. And,
turkey
biscuits,
sausage or pork, whatever they're making sausage out of.
And if you don't want anything hot, there's cold items. There's
then he runs through those
cereals.
Yeah, and he's almost done, and it's like,
bagels.
yeah, cereal too. Like it was like cereal had escaped him. He wanted to make sure we knew there was cereal on the breakfast line. But then it all ended with him being, telling us that breakfast starts at 6:30, and we were getting up at 5. So none of that mattered at all. But we weren't going to bother to tell him that because I'm sure there'd be another story to go with it. So yeah, we check. It's always an odd concept though when you check into a hotel room at midnight and then you leave at 5. Like you pay.
Do you remember the guy last year? Maybe it was in Kansas City where he was talking to us about
pro wrestling. That was in Indianapolis where he talked way too long and he kept saying it was pretty nice. Everything was pretty nice.
That's what it was. Yeah, it's pretty nice.
We walked away and you go, I've never heard anyone refer to Triple H as pretty nice or whatever he's talking about.
He's like, yeah, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, it started with, I bought WrestleMania. I got the pay-per-view and it was pretty nice.
It's pretty nice.
And Triple H came out and it was pretty nice. Just everything was pretty nice. It just kept going on and on.
Pretty nice. Oh, I'll never. That'll make me laugh forever. Thinking about him saying everything's pretty nice and how long he went into professional wrestling when all you want to do is get out of there.
Yeah, because he thought we were professional wrestlers was the thing.
That's what it was actually, or something like that.
Yeah, he thought we were in town for a pro wrestling thing, and we said,
right.
Oh, he goes, well, I see you guys. Your picture's on your shirt there because you were wearing the podcast shirt. So
it's pretty nice.
Yeah. So we got into our hotel room. We got out of there at basically 5 a.m, and we were on the road. And at this point, I was getting pretty damn tired. It was it had been a very, very long trip. It was an uneventful ride, and I think I was back in Sioux Falls by like 1 o'clock, wasn't I?
Yeah, 1:30, I think. There is no snow on this entire trip until you cross the South Dakota border.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then by the time you get to Sioux Falls, there's feet of snow. And anywhere just like a little bit south of there, none of Iowa there is any snow.
No, nothing.
And it was
I don't even think Sioux City had anything, did they?
It was like 50 degrees warmer in Ohio than it is in South Dakota. And I don't know about all this Midwest Ohio talk, if it's going to be that warm. And I don't even know if it ever snows there for how nice it was. I'm not sure if it's ever snowed in Ohio.
Their winters are so mild.
Yes. Even Illinois and Indiana and Iowa.
Yeah. I think the whole time, basically once we left South Dakota, I don't know if we ever saw temps under 50 degrees. It might have been that one night when it was cold and rainy in Ohio. That might have been the only time it ever got. But otherwise, it was 50 plus degrees the entire trip, which
it was really nice.
Yeah.
And then so then I made it most of the way back until the north-south road were just fine. It was just when I had to go west into western northeast, put in the west in western northeast South Dakota, that entire road, because of the direction the wind was blowing, was snow and ice covered the entire way. So it was, the last what should take like an hour and a half took like 2.5 hours or whatever. Because
it did take that long.
Oh yeah, I was going like 45 or 50, and that was pushing it, honestly.
Oh,
like there was a lot of really slow moving traffic. It was bad. It was it was constantly. It was the entire road from Summit to Aberdeen was bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I did make it just before dark, and that's what I kept wanting to do. I'm like, if I could just get home before dark, because I don't want to be in the ice with the trailer in the dark. That's what I think I said it on the trip. Even if I can just eliminate one of those variables, I feel a little bit better about it. Made it back. Then that's where the fun starts, because that's when all the unpacking goes on.
Everything.
The unpacking is brutal especially after all of those things we just talked about. That's when the unpacking sucks. So I started that process Monday night and then finished it last night, Tuesday night, basically. So the Arnold is really, and I started packing last Monday. It's over a week long from start to finish, to get the whole thing from packing to unpacking is over a week long.
Mm-hmm.
Someone asked how many shirts we sold. I think we sold all of them.
Yeah, every last one of them.
We did sell more than we did last year.
Yeah,
which is good news. And I'd say we were very happy with it. Actually, what I told, what we talked about is like, I could maybe give it like a B plus-ish letter grade because it was very good, but it wasn't like our wild high water mark numbers that we thought could possibly happen if it was a perfect storm.
Yeah.
So it leaves room for improvement, right?
For sure.
Sky's the limit. We can only go up from here.
And part of that also was, you could always sell more if you had unlimited inventory. There's always a thing of sizing that really hit us on the last day. I think we ran out of bench shirts and a couple other styles.
Yeah, around
basically first thing Sunday morning. Yeah. So that lift jorts too. Those were also
jorts were a hot item.
A really hot commodity. We were out of sizing on those. Some of them we didn't even have sizes in the first place, but then we ran out of some sizes also on Sunday. So Sunday,
everyone wanted to talk about the jorts. Actually,
they did. Yeah, people were really. That actually surprised us how much people were into those. But if we
got to meet the Rascal Jorts model too.
Yep, the guy that's in all of their ads with that curly mustache. Yep, got to see him in person.
I was actually talking. It was me, one of the Bells of Steel owners, and him in a circle, and I didn't know who he was. And we were talking, and then I looked at him. I was like, I really like your mustache. That's a really good mustache. He was like, oh, thanks. And he was really friendly. And then we were talking more, and I was like, gosh, you look familiar. And he's like, yeah, I'm the Rascal. And this is after we kind of been talking shop for a little while. He's like, yeah, I'm the Rascal guy in the ads. And I go, oh. And then I'm like, oh, you know who I am then? He's like, yeah, I do. And and then
your Discord precedes you.
Yeah. Yes. And we had a good talk about the jorts, and he was a very good sport, I would say. Mm-hmm. And we did get him in a pair of Massenomics jorts, and I think he's on Team Massenomics jorts now. I got him to admit that we actually we were the ones that changed the game. So I think that should be put to bed.
Yeah, and that our shorts pop even harder.
Yes, yes. Is that it? Does that wrap up the Arnold?
I think so. We got back. Yeah, that was probably everything.
So that was the Arnold.
Yeah, I got to put together the Arnold recap video, which was fun because it felt like I got to relive the last couple days again.
Arnold all over again.
Yeah.
I've got a special little over-under segment for us here. You're familiar with Overrated, Underrated, Tommy?
Very. People don't realize this. We actually played this game for 12 straight hours on the way there.
We just repeat, just topic after topic.
Yeah.
Okay. Mostly everything in that's in this, we have talked about it, but you haven't had to put an actual over or under on each one yet. So we'll force the issue. Overrated or underrated? 21 beer salutes.
I don't think I've ever actually witnessed a 21 beer salute in person, and the way I saw a crowd gather around and the ready aim fire with the beer, I think it's underrated. I just don't see those being put to use as often as they probably should be.
Yeah, I didn't realize that it was going to be like forcing, like he was going to make everyone dump the beer all over their faces and bodies.
Yeah, make sure you watch that part of the video when everyone's just pouring beer all over their faces.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think Matt Vincent even went over there and got in on it.
Yeah,
too.
The 21 beer salute definitely not used as much as it should be in remembrance of people.
Yeah. Still, my one regret is not getting to get homeless a drink, but still good. Overrated or underrated? Raisin Canes, not the California raisins.
Yeah, what were we talking? Why were we talking about that?
Just I think because of that raisin.
No. Someone goes, "Oh, we're talking about Raisin Canes," and someone goes, "That's my dog's name," and I go, "Raisin." They go,
like Cane.
I'm being dumb, and they're like,
I think it was Lou, wasn't it?
No, was it them or was it the Barefoot people?
I thought it was Lou and Eddie.
Oh yes, it was. You're right. Yes. Rode in so many back seats of vehicles, I lost track there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Lou's like, "That's my dog's name." I go, "Raisin?" Yeah, no, it's Cane. And then we were talking about all the California raisins are just these shriveled up ball sack of a mascot. Yeah. Boy, that one's tricky because I think they're rated pretty high, but they also don't really exist in our sphere. So because of that, I think I'm going to say they're underrated.
Okay.
I was pleasantly surprised with the quality of the chicken there.
Oh, I saw them talking about it. Also, don't forget from the Arnold, the craziest thing I saw is Nick from Live Large and I myself got a picture with that woman with the largest boobs I've ever seen in my life.
I would be absolutely shocked if you told me someone has bigger boobs than this in the world. I'm trying to think of how, like, it's actually comparable. You know, the medicine balls you sit on, not even medicine balls. What are those things called? Like the exercise balls that people sit on. It's like she has like two. I'm not exaggerating. She has like two of those on her chest.
Yeah.
So look for the picture. Is it on? Did you post it on Instagram? Or is it
it's on it's on Instagram. Like one of the posts from the Arnold. You'll see it if you start seeing Arnold posts. And this meme that one of the Davids made is funny. Where
that was maybe the hardest I laughed at a meme the entire weekend.
Yeah, there's the picture. That is crazy. And I like when people see that and they go, is that real? And it's like, well, define real.
Yeah. Like, yes, physically it's there.
It was like Nick was there and he's like, you got to come see this. And I went and looked at him like, what the frick is going on?
And I saw her walk by, because we're by the door to the entrance, you know, so I saw her walk by. And then when you came back and told me, I knew exactly what you were talking about.
Did you know that, she's on the internet this week wearing like a Huck Finn, build the chest, fuck the rest.
I did see that picture. Yeah. He had that.
Yeah,
I think he posted it on his Instagram, which is hilarious that he got that shirt for her.
That's smart. That's good.
I'm sure he sold some of those today because of that.
Yes. Overrated or underrated Brothers?
I think Brothers is underrated. Bar. It's fun. I had a great time there. There's apparently a whole chain of those things, which I wanted to look because I could have swore there was one in in Minneapolis that I've been to before.
I don't know if they're as good as the Columbus one.
Probably not. Brothers Columbus. Let's see. Brothers Bar and Grill. Well, they had the whole list of all the banners of all the locations they're in, you know. Okay, here we go. Locations. Oh, come on. Give me okay. We got Bloomington, Columbus, Denver. How do you say it? Eau Claire in Wisconsin, Fort Collins, Indianapolis.
Where, Menard started.
Oh, yeah.
Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
Eau Claire, there, okay. Iowa City, La Crosse, Lawrence, Lincoln, Lone Tree, Milwaukee, Newport, South Bend, West Lafayette. Okay, maybe not Minneapolis, but I think they had a good vibe. It's very comparable to it's bigger, but it's comparable to the zoo, you know?
Yeah.
It's just, there's a big bar, no frills, nothing fancy. They just got loud music. You can get a drink, and there's a lot of people there.
You can get a drink, but you can't give homeless a drink.
But you cannot give homeless a drink.
Okay.
Yeah, Brothers underrated.
Last one. And I don't know if you know where this is headed or not, but maybe the most important Arnold topic on over-under. Overrated or underrated? The Arnold bathrooms.
The Arnold bathrooms. Wow.
Are they overrated or underrated?
Wow. Well, they're rated so lowly that it'd be hard to say. With that, actually, if I'm going to come in with a fresh perspective, I'm going to say that they are underrated because this year was the first time that I, not once during the weekend, went into the bathroom and there wasn't multiple inches of water on the floor. You know, They kept them. They also, I think there was a guy in there every single time, either cleaning the mirrors, the sinks, the floor. I mean, something was putting paper towels in. So maybe they saw the memes and they were bullied into putting more effort in. But this year was, I think, the best I ever saw the bathroom. Still wouldn't say they were good, but it was the best I ever saw the bathrooms for sure.
I'm probably most excited about what we could do as far as Arnold bathrooms go in 2024. I think we could really take this Arnold bathroom thing to the next level.
The sky's the limit, I believe.
Check out Massenomics booth 201, conveniently located next to the bathrooms.
The best part is it's still
not that close
100
to-
feet from the bathrooms.
Conveniently located just down the hall from the bathrooms,
yeah.
just like all the booths.
Yeah. Just like the other 12 booths between us and the bathroom.
Probably like 35 booths that are all definitively closer to the bathrooms than ours.
Just anything in the front row by our logic is conveniently located next to the bathroom.
And is that even convenient?
No, not really.
Yeah, stay tuned for maybe some Arnold bathroom specials in 2024. Take this Arnold bathroom to places it's never seen before. Good news, Tommy. It looks like you passed over under this week.
Good.
True Massenomics fashion. And speaking of true Massenomics fashion, have you ever had shoulder pain? What shoulder pain? You've got it, and SPUD Inc. can fix it. They teamed up with Donnie Thompson, who we have before talked to at the Arnold, as well as Mr. SPUD himself, who we've talked to at the Arnold. They teamed up with Donnie Thompson to create the bow tie. So no matter what, if you're a lifter wanting to prevent pain and injury, or a desk worker like me who's tired of coming home in pain after a long day at the office, we have your solution. Get bow tied. They've got the bow tie team sports pack where you can get multiple bow ties all in one. Or, of course, they've got their bow tie casual and my personal favorite, the bow tie formal. Bow tie is only $60. It can be found at spud-ink-straps.com. If you order $75 or more, you get free shipping on all domestic orders. Make sure to let them know that your good buddies at Massenomics sent you when you go get your bow tie from SPUD Inc. Thank you, SPUD Inc. Okay. Does that fully wrap up our Arnold discussion for 2023?
I think so.
Did we miss anything crucial?
Probably.
Yes. Bobby Thompson got third at the Arnold Strongman. Mitchell Hooper won it. I think Mateusz was back and got second, and then Big Trey, I think, got fourth. Funny story from Big Trey. He was telling us about his home gym that he's working on. He said he bought a used rack from someone on Facebook Marketplace, and he went and picked it up. Maybe it was a couple-hour drive or something. He went with his dad to pick it up, and I asked him, did the guy know who you were? He's like, no, he didn't have any idea.
Yeah.
And he's like, but my dad likes to brag about me, so he made sure to tell him, though.
Yeah.
But it is a funny thought.
Do you know who this is?
Yeah.
You sell your equipment, and one of the strongest people in the world comes to pick it up.
Yes. I did think that was kind of a funny story.
That was good.
It was a wild weekend with Huck Finn and Karen and his whole crew around, Mackie, Boss Man,
The White George Foreman.
Cowboy Cam was there, of course, and Huck Finn drinks a lot. He gets put to bed pretty early because he drinks so much during the day. He doesn't stay up very late. Big Keith was talking about Huck Finn saying what's up to him in the morning. I did hear that one time. I could have sworn he said honey cock. I thought he called Big Keith honey cock. And
probably did.
It would sound just like something that would flow out of Finn's mouth. And I even went away with this shirt, this commemorative shirt here. So that's kind of
partied
big
with
news,
Huck
isn't
Finn
it?
Barbell.
Yeah.
Does this mean you're officially an alpha now?
Alpha. It was fun.
Alphas.
Ready, aim, fire.
Fire! Fire! Ah!
Okay. Do we bring this one on home?
I think we can bring it on home.
Let's bring it on home. Make sure to head over to the Massenomics shop. We brought everything home with us that we didn't sell at the Arnold, so we're pretty well. We've got decent stock on most items still. We're having to reorder a few tees that we kind of sold all the way out of. But please, maybe you weren't able to get to the Arnold, but you still want to support us. Get over there and grab something from our shop. Tees, hats, shorts, lift shorts, if you could ever consider affording those, which most of you probably can't. We've got all that available. The classic drink spotter is for sale on our website. You can never beat drink safety. It's as important as ever, if you ask me. So check out the drink spotter on our
There
site.
may be something more along those lines coming this month. If you were paying
Could
attention at the
be.
Arnold, you have the inside scoop.
Yeah, could very well be. We do have our 7-year podcast anniversary coming up about the end of this month. So stay tuned for something exciting revolving around that 7-year anniversary, 7 years of podcasting. We'll pull out something special for that, of course.
Lucky number 7.
Lucky number 11. And then make sure to please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We really, really need to quickly hit that 500 mark because we've got something big planned in association with that 500th review. So please make sure to leave us a 5-star review if you haven't yet. Talking to all the people at the Arnold, I know there's a whole bunch of people that have just started listening within like the last 6 months. I'm guessing a lot of you haven't left us a review yet, so please leave us one of those reviews. We would love. We only need. I think we're at like 478, so we only need a few more to hit 500, and we will read it. We will read it some year. You know, we'll get to reading yours. It could be like 5 years from now, but we'll probably still be podcasting, so we'll read it eventually when we're trying to get to 1,000 or something.
That's right. So people are asking if I've seen Lucky Number 11. I have. I actually saw that movie in the theater.
So
when
take
it
that.
came
The
out.
number of times at the Arnold I heard someone say, "Has Tommy seen it?"
Yeah.
Or many, many, many times.
And I could have swore people were just making up movies. Eddie especially. You're just saying words and then saying, "Have you seen it?" And not only have I not seen it, I've never even heard of that movie before. So Eddie was throwing the tough ones out there.
So maybe we'll get to more Has He Seen It next week on the Massenomics podcast.
I
Tommy-
didn't get to give myself my cool beans.
Oh, yeah.
Cool beans. Cool beans.
Okay. There.
Good call
Now I can go to
Now
bed
everyone will
peacefully tonight.
be able to rest easy.
Yeah, people were worried about that. I could tell.
Yeah.
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
You can follow me at Tanner_Baird, but nobody really cares about that. Just please make sure to follow Massenomics at Massenomics. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe on YouTube.
See ya.